Moses was a shepherd tending his flock in the wilderness. He saw a sight that made him stop in awe. A bush was engulfed in flames, yet it did not burn up.
Moses, Moses,
Here I am.
do not come any closer. Take off your sandals, for the place where you are standing is holy ground. I am the God of your father, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. I have seen the misery of my people in Egypt. I've heard them crying out because of their slave drivers, and I am concerned about their suffering. So I have come down to rescue them from the hand of the Egyptians and to bring them up out of that land into a good and spacious land, a land flowing with milk and honey. So now go. I'm sending you to Pharaoh to bring my people, the Israelites, out of Egypt.
Moses was afraid. He doubted his ability to lead.
Who am I that I should go to Pharaoh and bring the Israelites out of Egypt?
He felt inadequate for such a task. Moses had lived as a shepherd for many years. He felt far removed from the courts of power and the plight of his people.
I will be with you, and this will be the sign to you that it is I who have sent you. When you have brought the people out of Egypt, you will worship God on this mountain.
But Moses still hesitated. He questioned whether the Israelites would believe him. He felt insecure about his own qualifications. This encounter marked the beginning of Moses' transformation. He was moving from the familiar life of a shepherd to the daunting role of a liberator. God was calling him to step out in faith despite his fears and doubts. God knew Moses needed reassurance. He offered signs to strengthen his faith.
What is that in your hand?
A staff.
Throw it on the ground.
Moses obeyed. As soon as the staff touched the ground, it transformed. It became a serpent, slithering and hissing. Moses recoiled in fear. He had never witnessed such a sight.
Reach out your hand and take it by the tail.
Though afraid, Moses obeyed. As he grasped the serpent, it changed back into his staff. This miracle was a testament to God's power. It was a sign that God would be with Moses. The staff turning into a serpent was not just a magic trick. It was a symbol of God's authority over creation. It showed that God could transform the ordinary into the extraordinary. God provided another sign to bolster Moses' confidence.
Put your hand inside your cloak.
Moses obeyed, and when he withdrew his hand, it was leprous. The skin was diseased and white. It was a shocking and disfiguring ailment.
Now put it back into your cloak.
He did so, and when he drew it out again, his hand was healed. The leprosy was gone. His hand was restored to its healthy state. The miracle of the leprous hand served as a powerful reminder. It showed God's ability to heal and to deliver. If God could heal a dreaded disease, he could surely deliver the Israelites from slavery. These signs were not just for Moses, they were also for the Israelites. They would serve as proof that Moses was sent by God. They would inspire hope and courage in the hearts of the oppressed. Despite the miracles, Moses still harbored doubts. He felt inadequate in another way. He struggled with his speech.
I am slow of speech and tongue.
He feared he wouldn't be able to articulate God's message effectively. Moses' concern about his speech was genuine. He may have had a speech impediment or simply lacked confidence in public speaking. He knew that leading the Israelites would require clear and persuasive communication.
I will be with your mouth and teach you what you shall speak.
God listened patiently to Moses' concerns. He understood his fears and limitations. He didn't dismiss Moses' feelings or force him into a role he felt unequipped for. God's response to Moses' insecurity was compassionate and practical, but God also had another solution in mind. God had a plan to address Moses' concern about his speech.
Is there not Aaron your brother, the Levite? I know that he can speak well.
God would use Aaron's eloquence to communicate his message. Aaron was Moses' older brother. He was known for his speaking ability. He would serve as Moses' spokesperson, conveying God's words to Pharaoh and the Israelites. God's provision of Aaron demonstrated his understanding and grace. He knew Moses' limitations and provided a way for him to fulfill his calling despite them. God often works in this way. He uses our strengths and weaknesses to accomplish his purposes. He equips us with the gifts and support we need to overcome our limitations. Despite his initial reluctance, Moses chose to trust God. He gathered his family and set off for Egypt. With his staff in hand and Aaron by his side, he was ready to face Pharaoh. The journey ahead would be arduous. Moses would encounter resistance, opposition, and challenges, but he would face them with God's power working through him.
Let's be inspired by Moses' example to step out in faith, trusting that God will equip us for the tasks he sets before us.
Moses' story teaches us that God can use anyone, regardless of their perceived weaknesses. It encourages us to embrace God's call, even when we feel afraid or inadequate. What fears or doubts are holding you back from fulfilling God's purpose for your life? Like this video if you found it inspiring, comment below with your thoughts on Moses' journey, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos on faith in the Bible.